In this lesson, we're going to focus on copying, and our objectives are to understand how to copy a segment and to understand how to copy an angle. Vocabulary is compass and straight edge. This is a compass, and a straight edge is basically anything that can be straight. Most people use a ruler. First thing that we're going to copy is a segment. When we're copying anything, we typically need to start with a line or segment that's longer than what we're going to deal with. So I'm going to use my straight edge and just make any line that I can use. Okay, and when I copy, I need an endpoint to kind of start with. So I'm just going to give a random one here, and we're going to call this segment DE. Okay, so the first thing I do is after I've got this set up, I take my compass and I'm going to measure the distance from A to B. Once I've got that, I'm going to take the point and put it at the point that I know, and I'm going to basically swing an arc with my compass. What this does is it tells me where the arc crosses my segment, and that's where my other point will be, and we're going to call that E. And based off of that, I have a segment that's the same size as my original. Now some of you may say, why don't you use a ruler to measure this rather than the compass? Well, one of the mistakes with a ruler is it has a set limit on what you can measure to, and if our distance isn't exact, then we have to estimate. Whereas with a compass, we can always get exact without estimating at all, because we're not subject to the lines on a ruler. The second type of copying we're going to do is an angle. Now this is a little tougher, so I'm going to do it twice. Once with angle A, which is an acute angle, and once with angle O, which is an obtuse angle. So again, anytime we're going to copy, we need to start with a segment to work from. This time I'm going to put the endpoint right here, and we're going to call this angle B. Okay, so the first thing that I need is I need to pick any distance with my compass, and I need to swing an arc on my original angle. So a lot of times the easiest thing to do is actually to move the paper rather than the compass. So as you notice, I'm going to turn the paper rather than my compass, and there's my arc. Now what I need to do is make an identical arc on where my new angle is going to be. So I'm going to go to B, and now this arc is usually, you're going to want to make it so that you know that it's bigger than your original. So notice I have my two arcs here. Now the key here is, if we make these arcs correctly, these two intersections are a specific distance apart. We want to get that distance so we can draw the rest of our angle. So we're going to measure this distance here. These are 2 points, and we go to our first intersection here to create our second intersection, and this point right here is the same as this up here. These two are the same, so I can just connect the dots at this point with my straight edge. And angle B and angle A should be exactly the same size. I'm now going to do this with an obtuse angle. A lot of people think that there's a different way to do it. I'm going to go through the exact same steps, so watch as I go. This time I'm going to put the endpoint on the other side just to show that we can do multiple things here. This time I'm going to call it angle P. So I'm going to pick any distance for my arc, and I'm going to make that arc. Okay? Then this time I'm going to have the angle go the other way, so I'm just going to swing a big arc that I know will cover the needed area. Okay, so there I basically swung half of a circle. Now again, I want to measure the distance between my endpoints. Now this time, because the angle is going to go the other way, I'm going to start here, and I've got to go the opposite. So it looks like this right here is the same point as this one here, and now I just connect the dots to make angle P. And we have two obtuse angles that are the same. Now when you guys practice these two skills, you're going to use a ruler and use a compass to check your answers, or use a ruler and a protractor to check your answers to show that you've done it correctly by actually measuring the degrees and the distances. Alright, if there are any questions or something that you missed, please rewind the video, watch it again, and bring your questions to class. Thank you.